If you're anything like me, then you love Logic Pro and you also love TouchDesigner. And while TDAbleton, the built-in native operator to let you get full access to Ableton, is fantastic, for me, I didn't want to use a new DAW. I wanted to stick with Logic, and I had to piecemeal my way through figuring out how to connect the two to get about 75% of the way there that TDAbleton does currently in TouchDesigner. So this is a pretty easy setup, and I'll walk you through this in the next about 5 minutes to show you how to start using Logic Pro to get audio reactive visuals within TouchDesigner. And for those of you that love the live nature of Ableton, as the name implies, of course, stick around until the end, because I have a recommendation that you can use within Logic Pro that will help with your live performances, similar to how Ableton enables you to do that. So in this first step, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Existential Audio website and download this tool called BlackHole. And BlackHole is a modern macOS virtual audio loopback driver that enables applications to pass audio to other applications with no additional latency. So in the context of this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is integrating Logic Pro X with TouchDesigner, and BlackHole serves as an essential tool for routing the output from Logic Pro X directly into TouchDesigner without the need for physical audio cables or any external hardware. So this will allow you to create dynamic and audio reactive visuals by utilizing all the audio data from Logic within TouchDesigner. As a side note, this is assuming that you are on a Mac, and with that in mind, let's go ahead and navigate to the Existential Audio website. And once you're on there, you'll look for the tool called BlackHole. And as I mentioned, it's a free tool. You can download this for Apple Silicon, and it will ask for a donation if you can. I recommend doing so because it is such an awesome tool and it has made my life so much easier. Of course, if you can't, you can go ahead and sign up for free, and it will send you a link to download. I already have this installed on my computer, so I'm not going to go through this step. Once you do that, what we're going to do is in the utilities, we're going to navigate to the Audio MIDI Setup application. And in the Audio MIDI Setup window, click the plus button at the bottom left corner and create aggregate device. So you'll see that a new aggregate device will appear on the left, and on the right you'll see a list of available audio devices. Check the boxes for BlackHole 16 channel and your primary audio interface to include them in the aggregate device. And you want to make sure that the BlackHole 16 channel is set as the clock source to ensure proper synchronization between the two devices. And to keep things organized here in this list, what you can do is you can also rename it to something. I called mine Logic to TD. And once you've done that, now you've successfully created an aggregate device. And this has combined BlackHole 16 channel and your primary audio interface. And this will allow you for more advanced audio routing between Logic and TouchDesigner. Once you have that set up, now once we are in Logic, what you're going to do is go up to the settings and audio and change your output device to whatever you just named that aggregate device. So in this case, Logic to TD, and then click apply. Then what I always do is test the audio to make sure I can hear it coming out of my monitors. Great. So now in this step, what we're looking at is in the mixer, what you have to do here is set up a new bus channel. In this case, I chose buses 20 through 23. And what that will do is create not only a new auxiliary channel, but also an output channel. As you can see here, I've named mine TD1, 2, 3, and 4. And each one of these has a separate output that are in the fuchsia, or the pink on the right. And from here, on each one of your different channels, so I have synth 1 and synth 2, what you do is you set up the send to go to one of those auxiliary channels. All right, let's head over to TouchDesigner now. And once you're in here, you'll put an audio device in shop. And under the device column, what you'll want to do is select the BlackHole 16 channel. And you can see that audio is coming through there because we have Logic playing some audio right now. Awesome. Make sure you still see audio coming through Logic. Now what you can do is, of course, do the audio chop out to ensure that you can hear the audio coming out of TouchDesigner. Let's bypass that for now. And then what you can do is start setting up your network. So here what we can do is do a select chop, and let's just say I want to pull in one of those synths. This one in particular is coming through channel 5 and channel 6. And you can do a little bit of experimentation here and really build this out as much as you would like, up to 16 channels. Let's mute that for now. So we can still see that it's just coming in through the channel 5 and 6. All right, now we can continue building the network, and this is where your creativity really shines through. I usually like to set a math chop and average it out to combine the channels, and then also add in an audio spectrum. And this is followed by an analyze. Now we can start having some usable audio data come through from Logic. And for those of you that have experience with audio reactivity in TouchDesigner, hopefully this is all starting to seem very familiar. Of course, you want to set up a null here, and I'll just go through a very, very simple example, pulling in a top circle, set up a transform, and of course a null. And now you can use this audio data for whatever you want. Right now, it looks like this is a little bit subtle. So of course we can increase that by adding another math chop and increasing the range. Perhaps that was a little too much. Now it's off the screen. Let's scale it down a little bit. There we go. So now you can see that this circle top is receiving the audio input from Logic. And of course, this is a very basic example. You can play with this to your heart's content and use this for instancing or making much more complex audio visualizations. So the last thing I want to show you here is how you can actually use Logic's live loops. This is a much similar style to Ableton Live, where you can actually start getting more of a live performance type feel using this feature that's already baked into Logic. So you can see the possibilities are really endless here once you set up a few steps within Logic and TouchDesigner, and you can even go as far as to creating a template in both, similar to what I have now. And tell me in the comments what you think, if you know of a better or easier way to do this, or if this helped you out. And I'll put a link to Existential Audio and their BlackHole tool in the description below.